iDiscover, the traceability platform for pro-fair trade, who wants to show that its products are traceable, that its product respects the environment, who wants to show that it is assuring to compliance at the source, who wants to show that what it does in a low developed country has impact, that it's investing in impact in the local people by the live platform Farm to Fork, covering all the countries of their sourcing for their oils. For the consumer, he wants to know where products are from, whether they produce sustainably. Our application will provide a QR code that could be attached to anywhere, website, shop, products, with which the end consumer can scan the product or the QR code on the product. Then it will link this QR code to a website on which the consumer can now follow where this product is from. In this particular case, it was 88 tons of crude coconut oil in 4 containers. It arrived in Basel with the barge, Alsace. It left from Belgium, the port of arrival, on that barge. The product arrived from Africa with the MS Africa 3 in Antwerp. It left Abidjan. It was loaded on the 20th of the 9th with the iDiscover live loading service. It needed 177 tons of dried copra to produce these 88 tons of coconut oil. And in turn, the farmers had to produce or deliver 80,000 coconuts in order to produce that amount of copra for this delivery. Further on we go to show where these farmers are situated, or where some of these farmers are situated on the map. We can zoom in to particular areas. We can see the plantations. We can get data about the plantation, who, how much, when was the delivery date, a little bit about the farmer, the cooperative, the environment in which this coconut is being harvested. We have various views, including a satellite view from Google. There's much more to the iDiscover platform, and we go now to the back office, the secured area, and we will log into iDiscover Live Playground, Tell the Story we call it. Here we see the same delivery as we did before, but now in a little bit of a larger environment on a desktop in a browser, with the details much more clearly be seen. But here again, just a little more space, and also to be able to zoom in even more, to really get down to tree view, which is very helpful for those who deal with the farmers, so they know that how many trees they actually do have, not just being told about how many hectares they have. So here we have the various stories there. We have the story about the copra that needs to be bought from those who have copra drying units, so they buy from the farmers. And here we see HMA, the exporter, buys all the areas in which he buys dried copra. On the left hand side we see some details about the company, what certifications, how many employees, etc., some worthwhile know-how. Then we go here to one of the buyers of the drying units called PMCI in Adiaké. Here we see all the, again, insights about the company, plus we see all the villages from which this copra drying unit is sourcing, buying the coconuts from the farmers. Here we go to the village of Melekukru, and we can see on the left hand side we see all the farmers. There's only 2 so far that we mapped. Mapping is a process. It takes quite a lot of time to map all the farms. So not all the farms are mapped, but all the farmers are known and registered in the database of the supplier. Here we are looking at a plantation, again with the tree view. We always see at the bottom, we see context-sensitive photographs. Context-sensitive in the sense of the village that we're in, or maybe the farmer we're looking at. And so here we have some photographs taken of this particular farmer, his family, with his wife. Then the event that we have here was another farmer family, event of school year being finished, ready for vacations. And here the school end party where the children happily celebrate going on well-deserved vacation. We have the context-sensitive photographs. We go back to where we started off. We see there with HMA, there's also context-sensitive photographs, meaning we show the environment there, whatever wants to be shown. The processes that are happening at the factory, the environment, photographs of the plant. On the right-hand side, we have a storyboard where we can have to add all kinds of stories produced by children, by farmers, by agents, by the companies themselves. Here we have a story we're going to follow on how to follow the young man who's going to de-shell the nuts. We are at the factory. We can see the photograph, and when we look at the map, this is exactly where the truck is now standing. There's the factory, where we follow from the young man who went with the spicer beforehand on the way to where he is dehusking the nuts. There we are. On the ramp up to the plantation. There he is already at work. Here we have a film. We can add films that shows how to dehusk coconuts. Up to 4,000 a day in this particular fashion in the heat. This is quite a job and quite an achievement. We can also show the videos in full screen. This is just a short one to document how this dehusking happens. We have other stories. The story, for example, of the iDiscover service, the live loading service, where the agents of ProFairTrade are following the loading of a truck, a tank, an ISO tank. And here we check samples, we take pictures of the level of fill, we add seals and take pictures of the seals, go on the weighbridge, look at the office where the Chamber of Commerce is measuring, weighing trucks and issuing export documents. We added a story here to go and look at the way from the factory to the port, what happens there, what environment is all of this happening, and this is our way on the truck going to deliver the tank to the port. Here too we can maximize the screen to see a little bit more, just to get a feel of what it's like. This is a show and tell place, so the end consumer or the stories that are being used on the websites of clients about the sourcing of the product, the origin. And these are stories that can be incorporated. It brings to the end consumer the environment closer, the people closer, the problems, projects. Then on the right hand side we also have, next to stories, we have various data, comparative data between the country, Switzerland in this case, economic, social, about analphabetism, about women and girls working, about children working, social data, CO2 emissions. We can see industrialized country versus undeveloped country or an agrarian country. All different kinds of data, plus all these stories that can be that are being created by software tools that are at disposal of the people who are working for ProFairTrade.